So hopefully this video isn't glitching. What's going on, guys? It's Ricky. Hope that you guys are all having an amazing Monday. Today's February 9th. It is 10:15 in the morning here in Arizona, and the bulls are pushing. What looked to be like a quick little retest of the pre-market lows of 605. We quickly found out that it did a double bottom, and markets have not been able to break below this ascending support. So you guys let me know down in the comment section, do you think that this is the beginning? Because again, looking at the different time frames, when markets sold off, I made a series of videos talking about, hey, markets are more bullish than bearish. There are a handful of companies that are a little bit more on the oversold side that could make a potential dip by opportunity, as markets do tend to recover more often. And if you're incredibly bullish in the market, it made sense on why you were possibly looking into buying into the dip, right? The big uncertainty was kind of like crypto. Crypto is still kind of hovering right around 70,000. Does it have another leg down? And if so, can it bring the rest of the market down with it? Aside from that, on the 1 minute time frame and on the 5 minute, you can see just consistent higher highs and higher lows. Intraday, and again, this is just my opinion. You let me know down in the comment section what you think. I think markets are too overbought. They're too overextended, risk to reward wise. It just doesn't make sense to go long here based off of how quick markets can turn on a dime and possibly sell off. It's not that markets have to sell off. It's just weighing out your options, right? Risk to reward. How much do you potentially expect to make today if it's a day trade? That's the big question. It's what's your timeline versus how much you could afford to lose, right? You could see the gap down potential versus the gap up. Markets are up 1%. And this is following the very significant recovery that we had on Friday of last week after a significant downturn. So it looks like we are now back trading at levels that we were right around mid to last week, right? So right around that 617 to 620 per share, which again is pretty fair. If you look at it on the 1 hour time frame, we're kind of in that general almost a previous support range that's now acting as a new possible resistance. But we'll see. Markets look incredibly strong. It looks like everything is pushing up for the markets, pushing them higher for longer. I just wanted to shed light on, for those that were thinking about going long today as a day trade, just to take downside risk into consideration. I would hate for you to buy here and then markets begin to downturn. If you're okay with the downside risk, remember, right? You're entitled to your own opinion. I just wanted to make you aware if you still want to go long because you see there to be more upside potential, especially if your timeline is, it's not a day trade. I expect to hold this for a number of days and you expect it to go back to 630, 640. I respect that, right? Because you have different intentions and you have a different timeline in mind. I just wanted to make you aware of the potential pullback. Other than that, let's talk about BTC. BTC, one moment it's aggressively pulling back, another moment it's trying to recover. It looks like we're testing its old support of 70 that's now acting as a new resistance, and MSTR is having a heyday. It's up 1.55%, which is honestly very impressive that it's even in the green after its substantial green day. I think it had like a 25% day on Friday. One of its biggest recoveries after it sold off to lows of 100, it made its way back up to like I think it went to like 128 or like 130 or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. What did it close at on Friday? Ended up closing right 134. So I had a super significant day. And at one moment during the pre-market session, I think it was down about 4 to 5%. Just like the market, the NASDAQ market, it looks like it retested that same support range and then quickly formed a V-shaped recovery. So you could see that MSTR and Bitcoin are working very well with the NASDAQ market. So the thing that I really like about that is that, hey, they're kind of respecting one another. So if that is the case and markets do continue to push higher, then it does support the case that that is bullish for MSTR and for Bitcoin. But if NASDAQ market begins to curl on over, then again, this could act as a negative factor for MSTR and for Bitcoin, which then can cause a retracement. So you let me know down in the comments section what you think. Do you think that MSTR is a good buy at 137, or do you think that it's too overbought and getting ready for a potential retracement? The thing that I wanted to share is this is kind of like just some data points that I thought were pretty interesting that came out. A lot of these stocks, do you guys remember CoreWeave, Irene, Nebius, whatever it is, Palantir, ALAB, I don't think I'm familiar with that one, but a handful of these companies were some of the best performing stocks in 2025, right? They're the most speculative. Some of them are nuclear, some of them are AI, but they're some of the best performing stocks in 2025. In 2026, they're some of the worst performing stocks. And I think it sheds light on the exact reason that we began making videos about it. When there's a lot of hype being injected into the market, I don't necessarily even want to call it manipulation because I really don't think that's what it is. I think that when markets are pushing to the way that they were for like CoreWeave and Irene, they had a lot of momentum. And I would say it wouldn't be fair to say that it's manipulation because, well, it was in a lot of people's favor, right? There's just a lot of momentum in that direction. There's a lot of hype, right? And hype isn't necessarily manipulation. It's just there's a lot of attention in that sector and in this specific, in that specific stock. But eventually, like we've said before, none of these companies fundamentally were doing well. So I think, sheds a lot of light where when hype begins to fade and reality begins to sink in, fundamentals do matter. But it's only when the hype begins to kind of like plateau or curl over. Very similar to a pump and dump, right? When there's a lot of hype and attention and the short squeeze is happening, everyone is making money as it pushes up. A great reminder to take profits when hype is present. So although you might sell early and take profits early, guess what? A majority of people that bought into the hype are probably in the red now because they held their position too long. So the idea of selling early, in my opinion, is always better than the idea of selling in the red. That being said, I also thought this was quite interesting. It says Binance records $1.3 billion in net outflow over the past month, making it the largest net withdrawal ever recorded on a platform. On top of that, you have MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor. They acquired $90 million worth of Bitcoin. So 1,142 Bitcoins at an average price of 78,000. And this was as of February 8th, 2026. And this just added to their average price of 76,000. So again, as of right now, again, if you're bullish on Bitcoin, I support your right to buy Bitcoin, right? I'm just here to make you aware. On the larger time frames, it still doesn't look incredibly bullish. It's still forming lower highs and lower lows. As you can see, there's a lot of outflows presenting itself in the market and on a lot of different platforms. And if any of these platforms begin to go under, or any form of uncertainty of like halting withdrawals or limiting users, this is where, again, crypto can get in a lot of trouble, very similar to what we saw with FTX back in 2018, if I'm not mistaken. But again, to each their own. It is a speculative asset, and it has made some people a lot of money for those that buy and sell in an intentional way. I'm just here to remind you, remember, when hype is present, markets go up. Know when to get out before hype fades and uncertainty begins to present itself. Because when these things, and if these things begin to correct, we all know that, well, when Bitcoin begins to sell off, if it does, I'm not saying that it will, I don't have a crystal ball, I can't predict the future. But we know that if BTC begins to sell off, then so will MSTR. And remember, just a few days ago, MSTR was hovering at $100 per share. So if we were to get rejected, not saying that we will, and we were to lose 36% on MSTR, and we break that $100 support, that's a huge psychological support. What happens when we break 100? Do we go to 90? Do we go to 80? Again, then that's when things can really begin to fall apart, right? So again, when in doubt, never be afraid to cash out. Just make sure that you do your part in being intentional with the trades or investments that you choose to take. And all I'm here to remind you is, again, there is a lot of uncertainty that can begin to present itself in this market. Just be mindful of your exposure. Don't use leverage. Be free to buy any company that you see value in. Just please do not over leverage yourself. Do not buy with a dollar amount you simply cannot tolerate to lose, especially if it's a speculative asset. If you're buying good quality companies and you're not leveraged, then again, I really don't think you have much to worry about. It's just stomaching the downturn. So I wish you guys nothing but the best. I'm very excited to follow up I believe markets are overbought. I believe Bitcoin is getting ready for another leg down, especially with the idea of a government shutdown happening as soon as February 14th. The probabilities look pretty high, and normally markets don't like government shutdowns. We'll see how this one reacts. I appreciate you guys' time. I hope that it earned your thumbs up. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.